Episode 3. He's really just signing for the express delivery. Vanessa sat opposite James, staring at him with her bright and limpid eyes. "What are you laughing at?" she asked naively, wondering about his sudden change in her heart. "I'm happy." James raised his eyebrows and looked at Vanessa. The smile on his face became even brighter. "Happy?" Vanessa was a little stunned by his answer. However, James's heart melted when he saw that cute expression. "Yes, during your most unhappy time, a beautiful lady suddenly appears and treats you to a meal. Shouldn't I feel happy?" James spread his arms and shrugged. "You are really interesting." His words made Vanessa cover her mouth and laugh out loud. Then she said with a slightly serious expression, "But do you know who was chasing me just now?" "I don't know, and I'm not interested." James shook his head. "Aren't you worried that it will bring you trouble?" A trace of curiosity flashed across Vanessa's eyes. "Of course I'm worried," James said without hesitation. "If that's the case, why did you do as I said?" She was even more curious now. This guy was too interesting. James suddenly pressed his hands on the table. He leaned forward and stared right into Vanessa's starry eyes, and after a whole 5 seconds, he said, "Beauty, did I have a choice in the situation back then?" James's question instantly reminded Vanessa of the scene just now. Her face unconsciously turned red like a ripe peach. Although she usually seemed quite unconcerned and careless about details, she was not a casual person. If she had not been forced into a corner, she would not have chosen to use such an extreme method to escape. Strictly speaking, it was still her first kiss. She lost her first kiss to a random guy on the street. Vanessa was a little distracted as she recounted the scene in her memory. The atmosphere in the room also became a little awkward. "Sir, madam, please excuse me." Fortunately, a waiter came in at this time to deliver the food and broke the awkward silence. Vanessa lightly shook her head and recovered from her daze. "What's wrong with me?" she muttered to herself in her heart. One must know how proud she was in the past. Many rich and powerful young masters of the city could not even live up to her standards at all. However, just now, when she faced this unfamiliar man who she had only known for less than 15 minutes, it was as if there was a little deer jumping about in her heart. Her heartstrings would be plucked, making her a bit nervous. This caused a great curiosity to bloom in her heart toward the man in front of her. She felt that he was an interesting person. He was honest and sincere. Compared to those rich young masters who only knew how to curry favor with her, he was much more appealing. She wanted to know more about him. She then elegantly flicked the swaying strand of long hair between her ears with her finger, regaining her natural composure. Then she extended her hand and said to James in a ladylike manner, "Make yourself at home, please." In the next second, her mouth hung wide as she stared at James with some surprise. When this guy saw the steak, he did not cut it with a knife or a fork. Instead, he jammed it with a fork and started to chew it like he was eating a flatbread. It tastes good." Although he was having dinner with a stunning beauty, James did not seem to feel any pressure at all. He was still chewing when he praised the taste to Vanessa sitting opposite him. Well, mister, are you going to eat it like that?" Vanessa felt that she could not hold back her laughter any longer. Her stomach was already cramping. "What's wrong? Is there a problem?" James looked at Vanessa seriously and asked back. "No, it's nothing." She quickly waved her hand and said. She did not dislike James's dining manners. She just felt that this man seemed a bit too real. Happy times always passed by quickly. The two of them didn't notice how much time they had spent together at the dinner. At this moment, James's phone rang. He took it out and saw that it was an unknown number. It was probably the express delivery that the system had mentioned earlier. "I'm sorry, I'll go out and attend the call first," he politely said to Vanessa, and then turned around to walk out of the private room. "Hello, Mr. Tucker. You have an important express delivery. I need to hand it to you personally. May I know where you are now in the Chef's Grill restaurant?" As soon as James picked up the phone, the courier's polite voice sounded from the other end. "It's indeed the express delivery." James smiled and told the delivery man that he would be waiting for him at the elevator on the 3rd floor. Then he hung up the phone and walked over to the elevator. James. While strolling to the elevator, he passed the door of a private room. There, he bumped into his ex-girlfriend Natalie, who had just walked out of the room. "Why are you here?" Seeing that it was James, Natalie's tone turned sarcastic. "Damn, why is she here? What bad luck." Seeing that it was Natalie, James cursed in his heart. He felt disgusted when he saw this woman, so he ignored her outright. James was more concerned about the express delivery than her. He continued to walk towards the elevator. However, how could Natalie let go of an opportunity to mock and insult James? She took a step forward and blocked James's path. She said with a face full of contempt, "Haha, James, don't tell me you also came here to eat." Although James did not want to entertain her ego, she had blocked his way. He could only reply, "What's wrong? Can't I?" "Haha, James, you're really making me laugh. The cheapest room here is equal to your 6 months' salary. Can you even afford to eat here? I can see that you are acting sneakily. You must have gone crazy from poverty, so you snuck in to steal things, right?" Natalie not only laughed at James, but she even threw mud at him. To think she was his college girlfriend, she seemed to be a completely different person. You crazy woman, you're simply unbelievable." James did not want to waste time talking to her. He circled around her and continued to head toward the elevator. However, Natalie assumed that she had seen through James. He must be feeling guilty, so he wanted to escape in a hurry. This made her even more excited. "Somebody come quickly! There's a thief here! Catch the thief!" she shouted from behind James. Her voice was especially piercing. In an instant, all the guests in the private rooms of the 3rd floor were attracted by the commotion. Even Vanessa, who was sitting in the private room, was drawn over. The door of the private room became a little crowded. James was instantly surrounded in the middle. "Nat, what's wrong? What happened?" Matt was the first to rush out of the room. He asked Natalie with concern. Before she could answer his question, he saw James at first glance. He rushed up to him and asked, "James, why are you here? What are you doing here?" Getting framed by Natalie for no reason, James was furious. To top it off, he was questioned by Matt in front of everyone. He said in anger, "I wanted to ask you that as well. What the hell are you guys trying to do? I just came here for a meal and had to go to the elevator to get an express delivery. What did I steal? Are you two crazy?" "Haha, a peasant actually said that he came here to eat. Well, let me help you ask everyone here. Let's see who believes you." Matt guffawed and then reached out his hand to ask everyone. On the 3rd floor of that prestigious restaurant, most of the people who came were people with higher status in the city. James's current attire was really out of place here. Naturally, they wouldn't believe his words. Instead, their eyes were filled with disdain. Of course, Vanessa was an exception. However, she didn't seem to be in a hurry to clear up the situation. She really wanted to see what kind of method this interesting man would use to resolve this change of events. "Everyone, he's not here to eat. He sneaked into this place to steal food. He's a thief." You even said that you were going to get the express delivery. I think you're just trying to escape." At this time, Natalie seized the opportunity and fanned the flames. Her words instantly caused a commotion among the crowd. A heated discussion made that whole floor noisy. The floor manager, Mr. Williams, also rushed over. When he saw that it was Matt, he immediately fawned over him and asked politely, "Mr. Malarkey, what happened?" "Manager Williams, you came at the right time. We caught a thief, and he almost hurt my girlfriend. I don't care how he got in here, but please take care of this right now. Otherwise, I'm afraid we won't be able to continue dining here tonight," Matt said with an ugly expression. "Mr. Malarkey, don't be angry. I'll take care of it right away." Mr. Williams quickly nodded to Matt respectfully. Matthew Malarkey was a VIP customer here. He did not dare to offend him. James really didn't want to bother with these unreasonable people. He also didn't want to ruin his good mood for winning the big prize because of them. Therefore, he continued to walk towards the elevator. Right now, he only cared about his express delivery. It was something worth several billion after all. However, Mr. Williams thought that James wanted to run now that he was exposed. He immediately shouted, "Stop right there!" "Are you talking to me?" James frowned and pointed at himself. "Who else but you? Don't you have a tiny bit of self-knowledge?" Mr. Williams yelled. "I'm sorry. I guess I'm just stupid. I don't understand why you stopped me so aggressively." James's frown deepened. "Kid, don't play dumb with me. Don't you know what you did? You must not know how we punish thieves since you dared to steal here. Now get over here and apologize to Mr. Malarkey and his girlfriend. If you are sincere, I'll ask the security to take care of you. Otherwise, you are going to jail." Mr. Williams walked up to James and threatened him. On the other side, Natalie and Matt both had proud expressions on their faces. The surrounding guests also looked at him with mocking expressions as well. At this moment, it seemed like everyone here was waiting to see James make a fool of himself. However, James did not pay attention to Mr. Williams at all. He only smiled slightly and turned around to look in the direction of the elevator. He murmured to himself, "It should be here by now." "Excuse me, are you Mr. James Tucker?" Suddenly, a courier pushed aside the crowd and came over to James's side. He addressed him politely. "Yes, I am," James nodded. "Mr. Tucker, I'm very sorry. The elevator was a bit busy just now, so I came a little late. This is your express delivery. Please sign here." After the courier finished speaking, he immediately handed a well-packaged box to James respectfully. The scene instantly silenced the surrounding onlookers. It was as if time had frozen there. Everyone, including Natalie and Matt, finally understood that he was really just going to the elevator to get the express delivery.